Is it a topic that we can discuss regarding areas?
Marbella, Porto Banús, Calamijas, Benalmádena, Fuengirola. It's perched on it's the typical white little Spanish village that's, perched on the top of the mountain. Lots of little cobbled streets, little gift shops, and it's absolutely stunning up there.
Yeah, so she had the company out to put screening within screening just for her birds.
For my aviary, yeah. So today's Garner Couch Club podcast is sponsored by Currencies Direct.
Helping you buy your dream home in Spain. So when you're moving money from abroad, exchange rates can really matter.
It does. And with Currencies Direct, you get great rates, you get expert guidance, and no transfer fees.
And they've got over 20 branches across Spain and friendly teams ready to help you every step of the way.
Yeah, so to register with us and for further information on Currencies Direct, if you'd like to visit our website, Spanish Property Choice, it's www.spanishpropertychoice.com, and go to the info page and you'll find Currencies Direct on there and you can register and find out more.
Thank you, Currencies Direct, for sponsoring today's episode of the Garners Couch Club podcast.
Yes,
we love you. Hello and welcome back to the Garners Couch Club podcast.
I'm Sharon and this is Shaun of Channel 4 Sunseeing Selling Houses and Spanish Property Choice, located in the beautiful province of Costa del Maria, Spain, and also the Costa del Sol.
Yay.
And that leads us perfectly onto what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, so we get asked all the time, and this actually came up very recently in the Albox office, a family that bought off us in La Maria, beautiful villa. She came in actually to say that she watches the podcast and she absolutely loves it. And she said, is it a topic that we can discuss regarding areas? So obviously she came over, she viewed with us, and not sort of, blowing my own trumpet, but she said, Shaun, the one thing that amazed us with you is that you just listened to us and you learned really quickly where we needed to buy. And she said the one thing that she'd wish she'd known before getting here was a little bit more about each area, what lifestyle the different towns offer, whether it's living inland, living coastal. So I thought, what better way to share that with our podcast?
It's a good idea because, being honest with you, it's not all about the house. A house can be changed. You can always make a house into a home. There's no problem about that. But location is really important. And we definitely, over the years, with our age demographic that we deal with, we tend to deal with house hunters, purchasers, between the ages of 55 to 75 maybe.
Yeah.
So they're semi-retired or going to retire. Now, living the life and living the dream in Spain is one thing, but and obviously you look online and you see these, beautiful properties and how wonderfully they're presented. But as my strapline has always been, you need to stand on the land. It is important to stand there and get a feel, get to know the area, and to make sure that you can physically survive there. I mean, I had a lady recently that wanted to buy a property that wasn't on our books, and it was with another agent, and she was just dead set on this property. And after getting to know her so well, I just had to be honest with her, and I said, look, please try not to go for this property because you're going to be isolated. There is no public transport. You're on your own. You've got one dog. How are you going to go and do your shopping? You don't drive. And lo and behold, I found out she's purchased it. And I am really, really worried about her because I genuinely do think that she's really going to struggle.
Yeah.
So I think talking about the locations that we cover is really important for people to know.
On the positive side as well, though, it's a case of that some people come into us and they say, oh, well, I've ruled out that area.
Yeah.
And when I dig a bit deeper, I'm like, well, why have you ruled it out? And then you find you find out that it might be that they've just read a comment somewhere, or they've been misled on the information, or they just didn't realise exactly geographically where the place was. And I'll take them there and they absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, before we kind of get into this, all of our clients need to do their research on their own. You know, you need to do as much as you can before you come to Spain. When you actually get here, one of the big things we always recommend is hiring a car. We think it just gives you the freedom. Yes, you can come with us on viewings, but we still think it's really important for clients to go out and have a little wander around on their own, do their recce, you know, stop off and have some tapas in a town, have a drink. And I think that's when you realise if it's the right area or not.
Yeah.
But it is a huge part of our job. And I always say, especially recently, finding the house, that's the easy part. We'll do whatever we can to find the property, but it's just as important to make sure it's in the right location.
Yeah, and it's also important to listen to, I know this sounds very strange thing to say, but to listen to us as well. We've been here 20 years, so we know the areas, we know the locations. There's not many houses that are on websites and portals that we don't know. Normally, if we haven't got them, there's a reason we haven't got them. It could either be legality-wise or something like that. But, you know, we do know the areas. And as I say, it's down to knowing things like your neighbours. You know, if you're not going to put somebody in a property that hates dogs or has an allergy to dogs or to animals, and next to somebody that's got 5 dogs. You know, so again, use our knowledge. That's what we're here for. But location-wise, just to clarify, we cover now, if you're looking for a property in Spain, we cover from the Costa del Sol region, so Marbella, Porto Banús, Calamijas, Benalmádena, Fuengirola, that sort of area. Then we move up to the coast in the Almeria region. Our main office is in Majaca. We have Majaca is beautiful. It's a one-off, isn't it, really? It's something special. We have 6.5 kilometres of beautiful beaches, and then you go on to Garucha, which is the harbour, and it just continues from there. We also go up as far as Lorca, which is on the Murcia border, and we list properties on our own website directly from us, in those locations. And we go as far inland as Serón, Villatrubio, Villablanco area, don't we? Those sort of areas. Now, we also cover the full Murcia region and the full Alicante region, but that's done through our exclusive collaborators. So you can contact us. The properties are on our website, but it would be one of our colleagues that would be looking after you in those areas. Does that make sense?
It does.
It does.
Yes. So they're all the areas that we cover.
Yeah.
And I think what's important is really making people aware of exactly what the areas offer. I mean, we can't, and we just don't physically have the time to sit and go through every town that we cover, but I think an easy way that we've always broken it down is coastal and inland. They're the two main things. So obviously coastal, we normally class anything to sort of a 10 to 15 minute drive away from the beach. That would include your Majaca, Vera Playa, Garuta, Carboneras, Villaricos. Like the list is very, very long. And we also cover the coast of Murcia. So obviously we sell a lot of properties near Águilas and San Juan de los Terreros.
Portolombreros and those sort of areas,
all the coastal areas. But then obviously inland, we're quite lucky here because we've got the E15 A7 motorway, haven't we? And it runs all the way down the coast of Spain. And that's what I tend to say to people. That's you switch from coastal to inland. Once you've gone across the motorway, you're then classed as inland. And inland can be anything up to an hour and a half at an absolute push. I don't think we go any further than that. And they are two very different lifestyles.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing is, I can talk from pure experience, not just through selling houses, because the other thing is I'm very, very lucky. I actually live inland. So I live away from our main head office, which is in Mahaka. I live 45 minutes away. I live on 2,500 square metres of land. I live in what we would class as a standard villa in this area. The good thing about this area, I actually live in Albox. I live 3 kilometres outside Albox, and I've been here now for 20 years now. And I can shut those gates and I can be in my own world. Yeah. I've got 360-degree views of the mountains, but I'm literally only 3 kilometres away from Albox, that has so much developed in the last 20 years. I mean, I'm not being rude to Albox, but when we moved over here 20 years ago, it was like shantytown. Yeah. It was. But now, I mean, we've just had a Consum open and we got really excited.
We've got a Lidl and an Aldi.
I know. I know.
Have we got an Aldi?
Yeah, we've got Lidl and Aldi now.
Of course you have now. You've got both of them.
And we've got Rossman's, and we've got what's the one that we keep going to and I spend a fortune in? Action. It's like a B&M, and I can't go in there without spending a fortune, because those facilities were not here when we came here. No. So anybody that wants to live in the Albox region, what you get is you get a large town, you get those facilities, which is fabulous. But I think the difference is with Albox, you also get land. So you get large plots of land with villas on. So for me, with the animals, it's absolutely perfect. But I'm also extremely lucky because we have a family apartment down literally on the coast in Garucha that overlooks the harbour. A completely different world altogether. Yeah. We go down there and we can step out the door. Obviously, you have the coast and the beach right on your doorstep. All the facilities you can possibly want. But it's more of a... The thing is with Garucha, it's right next to Mahaka. Now, for me, Garucha is still very, very Spanish.
Yes, yeah.
Very Spanish. It has beautiful fish restaurants. I watch when we're down there, I watch the boats. The fishermen go out of the morning and bring the fresh fish.
It's very famous for its red prawns.
Yes.
Yeah, it's won awards.
Yeah, I can't do because they have their heads on. But anyway. But then you've got Mahaka, which again is 6 kilometres of beautiful beach line. It's spread out a lot more. But in Mahaka, you get more of a holiday feel, don't you?
Well, it's tourism. I think it's the same as anywhere, even in the UK. I'm sure you go to the coast and you get your tourism, you've got your people on holiday, and Mahaka obviously has its peak season. Yeah. I mean, it makes me laugh when a lot of locals there, they go, oh, Mahaka's absolutely crazy busy. And you think, well, the season in Mahaka really is July and August. Yeah. The rest of the year, it's a beautiful, relaxed place. Yeah. And it's nice to have the contrast of going from your quieter months to your busier months. Yeah. But yeah, it's a different pace of life. It's a different... Visually, it's a very, very different place.
Well, Mahaka as well, yeah. You've obviously got the coastline and the promenade and that, which the town hall has spent a lot of money on, and it's beautiful now. But we also have the original village, the Mahaka village, that's perched on it's the typical white little Spanish village that's perched on the top of the mountain. Yeah. Lots of little cobbled streets, little gift shops, and it's absolutely stunning up there. And then when you go up there, the views are just spectacular, aren't they?
And again, it's focused on tourism. I mean, Mahaka's actually done this huge campaign over the last couple of years for tourism, and the amount of events that they have on. I mean, they've got the romantic night up in the town. They've got the night of the candles, where everything is candle lit. You've obviously got the Moors and Christians big celebration, the big festival. So it's an area and a town that is very, very community based, but still focusing on tourism and bringing people into the area.
Well, Mahaka won the Ferrero Rocher competition, didn't they?
Yes.
For one of the most beautiful towns in Spain.
Yeah, and for the Christmas lights.
The Christmas lights were provided by Ferrero Rocher.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yes, which is one of my favourite sweets that I can't have now. But yeah, so you've got a mix really. It is a very Moorish area. The properties around there are built with a Moorish theme. I mean, you've got Sierra Cabrera, which is it's actually built into the mountains, isn't it? It's stunning. And the views up there are spectacular. And we filmed a lot of our opening credits in Sierra Cabrera for Sunsea and Selling Houses, purely because of the views. But again, a different way of life. I mean, they've got like the domed ceilings, and it's really pretty, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you see that Moorish influence much more down on the coast.
Yeah.
Whereas coming inland, I think as they've built the villages up and the towns up, they've gone much more for your sort of your standard villa style properties. But I think one of the main things I always try and get across to my clients as well is that you've got to consider what kind of lifestyle you want.
Yeah.
You know, we do get some people that turn up and they say, right, I want to be in a residential Spanish area.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to guide you to certain towns. We get some people that come over and they want the home comforts. If they're British, they want to feel like there's a British community around them. And I think that's maybe where we step in a lot and we say, right, okay, well, we need to consider where you want to be because let's face it, the coast, you've got tourism, but the type of tourism that it is, the summer it's very Spanish. We get a lot of Spanish tourism, and then outer season that's when we tend to see, the German, French, British, Belgian, they all turn up to enjoy the winter weather. Yeah. Because the coast still offers that, and it's beautiful for them. Yeah. Whereas you come inland, it's a whole different story.
It is, yeah.
You will find much more of an expat community inland. It's all year round, which I think people love. Yeah. Doesn't have seasons. Obviously your nearest town of Owlbox, it's always busy. Yeah. It's always open. It never shuts down. So I think that's what most people need to investigate into more than anything before they start deciding on.
Well, I think the one thing that I really liked about Owlbox is, I mean, we can move anywhere. And I mean, how many times have I fall in love with a house every day of the week, don't I? But the one thing that I did fall in love with Owlbox is how the Spanish have actually welcomed the expats. We have brought a lot to the area, there's no question about that. And they appreciate that, and we appreciate them allowing us to be here. Yeah. And, it is lovely to go down to the local market and, they want to learn English as much as we want to learn Spanish, which is quite nice, isn't it, And
the language is, again, a big concern of a lot of people because they think, we don't want to be in a Spanish area because we're not going to be able to speak to anyone. But it's not that case. Yeah. You tend to find that as long as you're in an area, I mean, most of the towns that we offer properties in, you will be pushed in certain bars or shops to speak the language, and rightfully so. You're in Spain, but you can still comfortably live here without being fluent Spanish. Yeah. It's not an area that everyone's going to speak to you in English, but it's also not an area that you're going to feel like an outsider. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to feel like you don't fit in because you might not be fluent in their language.
Exactly. Well, one of our popular areas inland, we have several popular areas that to be fair, we are absolutely desperate for properties for, because we've got clients lined up. Unfortunately, some of the properties on the market at the moment are exclusive listings with other agents, and we're struggling to collaborate. But it's a shame, really, because we've got the buyers. But Arbelayes is a massive area for us. I mean, we literally have got a waiting list of clients wanting to buy in Arbelayes. Now, Arbelayes for me is you've got the main town of Arbelayes. It's actually split into two sections, because you've got the town of Arbelayes, and then we've got the new Marble Highway. Well, I say new, it's been there for years now, but I never thought we were ever going to see that in our lifetime, but it's open now. But then the other side of that, you've got Los Higueros, you've got
Lamaria,
but that's more. I would class that as more inland Arbelayes, because obviously you've got a 5-10 minute drive back into the main village.
Yeah, Arbeláez surprises a lot of people because as a town, it's actually quite small.
Yeah.
The town itself, but geographically, it covers such a huge area.
Yeah.
But then I think what happens a lot, and this when the clients are with me in the car and we're driving along and we're seeing different villas, everyone gets so surprised how close everything actually is.
Yeah.
You look on a map and you think,
Yeah.
Aalborg and Arbeláez are nowhere near each other. But then if you buy something in Arbeláez, you're 5 minutes along the road to here in Aalborg.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think, over here it's daunting because obviously it's a new area. Things can feel really far away, even like the coast.
Yeah.
What's it take to get down from the coast? 35 minutes, if that.
Yeah.
So even if you're buying an inland villa, it's not like you're in the middle of nowhere and you've got no one around you.
No, exactly. I mean, obviously, if you go further inland and you go towards the Partalower area, which is another good area for us, they have large plots of land, big villas on there. That is a really, really, really good area. But then you've literally got Cantoria right next door, and you've got Finesse as well, which are two beautiful towns. I call them pods. The way that the properties have been built, the new modern villas, they've sort of been built in small developments around the towns, haven't they? The one thing is legalities. Again, you have to be very, very careful when you come inland, because a lot of properties inland are on rustic land, built on rustic land. Many were built with licences, but those licences were revoked, and now they have AFOs, or some still have licence of first occupation. But that's something you don't have to worry about if you buy through Spanish Property Choice. But those sort of lifestyles, that's very much like where I live now. It's a lot quieter here. I mean, all I hear when I go outside is my animals.
I was going to say,
I think most of the area here is my animals.
Pretty much.
But yeah, it's calm, and we've still got that traditional little Spanish village just down the road. When we're down at our apartment on Garrucha Harbour, it's a different world. I feel like I'm on holiday, even though I live here and I've lived here 20 years. I do feel like I'm on holiday. You can go out and have a coffee and, walk along and go to, choice of 20, 30 different restaurants or cafes and bars,
Yeah.
I think you've got to decide what sort of lifestyle you want when you're over here. If you want the peace and quiet, then I would suggest, even on the Playa, you can still find areas on the Playa that will give you that peace and quiet. I mean, one of my favourite, as you know, resorts are the Al-Andalus resorts, which are in Vera. And you'll have seen those on the show many, many times. I like those resorts because many people who live on there who work in Mahaca, or those surrounding areas, so that you get the residents, but then you get the holiday makers during the summer, so you get a bit of both, don't you? But living in the heart of Mahaca is a completely different world altogether. You've got to put up with the traffic and that during the main season, really. But again, further up the hill, you've got all the beautiful villas, and the thing is, the area is so diverse. We have to get to know the clients first before we can suggest an area, really.
Well, it's such a personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I always talk from experience of how much I've moved around, in the last 14, 15 years. Since I left home, and I always, I'll always be open with clients and say, right, okay, I grew up in Aalborg, so I grew up in a very, very Spanish culture, went to a Spanish state school, really sort of dove? Integrated into the Spanish culture. Then when I was young and single, I moved down to Mahaca. So I left Aalborg, moved down to Mahaca and lived in Mahaca for a couple of years. Absolutely loved it. It's got the nightlife, it's got the tourism, it's got different faces every day of the week. But then for me personally, living and working there is a lot.
Yeah.
Then I moved back inland into a place called Huerca. I lived there for 7-8 years. Loved Huerca. It was a real Spanish town, very residential. And now, now I live in the middle. I live sort of 15 minutes from the coast on a absolutely incredible golf resort called Valle de l'Este, which you know how much I love it there.
Yeah.
It's peace and quiet, but it's close to the town. It's close to the motorway. So I've literally, I've lived in every kind of, I just need to live on a farm. That's the one thing I'm missing.
Yeah, well, you're not coming back here.
No, exactly. I just need to live in the countryside on a farm.
No,
and
you
I can
can't.
pretty much say I've done.
No,
every
you don't.
Kind of living.
You don't do animals, son. Sorry, no. Cleaning up poo is not your thing. So forget the farm idea.
Or a city, I suppose.
Well, I think the thing is, when you lived in Work-Lavera, Work-Lavera from here, from Albox, is 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, Work-Lavera is where our main hospital is. It's where the cinemas are. It's got everything, hasn't it? It's got the plazas, it's got the shops, it's got everything that you could possibly want in Work-Lavera. The hospital in Work-Lavera, I'm going just through personal experience, absolutely incredible. I mean, when I was in hospital with my heart, I couldn't have had better service. It was incredible. I can't talk highly enough about it. So you've got that. You've got a fabulous market on a Monday that stretches right the way down the main street in Work-Lavera, and then you've got that beautiful park. You've got the park with, there's what is there now? There's donkeys and goats.
Oh, the animals,
playground for the children. It's got everything you could possibly want. It's lovely. And then when we now come to see you on Val d'Este, that's a different feel altogether, because you've got the big hotel on there, which you can use the facilities on there. They've got a beautiful pool. They've got beautiful bars and restaurants. You've got the little commercial centre, which have got fabulous bars and restaurants there. There's even a little patisserie there now, isn't there?
We've got a French bakery.
Avoid. But it's nice to be able to sit on your terrace and just watch the golfers, just...
it's a different pace of life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't suit everyone. I had some clients just a couple of days ago, and it was a young couple with their child. And they said, what do you think about where you live? And I was honest with them. I said, I don't know if it's right for you at this point in your life.
Yeah.
You want a holiday home. You want your kid to be able to run over onto the beach and have fun. And, I said, you can choose the coast now, and maybe 5-10 years down the line, you say, okay, well, we've done the coast now. Let's move inland a little bit and live on a golf course, which is a little bit more relaxed, or get ourselves a villa inland.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Lord, if you remember, we actually did our taster show for the series way back in, 2015?
Yeah.
With them, we had the producers come over and they filmed us for a day, and we went out with Mr. and Mrs. Lord, and it was quite strange because they ended up on the Al-Andalus resorts, if you remember. They bought a beautiful penthouse, but then they lived there for a while their daughter was going to the local school in Vera, because we do have a private international school in Vera, and that is incredible. Both our grandchildren, Alithia and Lucas, have gone there now after going to the normal public schools in Oaxaca. And, they then, after a while, they realised that their circumstances had changed. Their daughter had grown up a little bit more. They needed more space, and they ended up buying a villa off us, didn't they? Yeah. So it doesn't mean that when you move over here, you have to live there for the rest of your life. You can move on very easily, and we can sell properties like that. So there's never an issue there. So if you do buy in the right... We have people now that purchased off us sort of 10, 15 years ago that were semi-retired, who are now maybe in their... Well, some of them may be in their 80s. And these villas, with the 2,000 square metre plots of land, is just too much for them. Yeah. And they're now selling and moving down to the coast, basically to downsize, really. So... Yeah.
Well, circumstances change, don't they? What you want when you first move over here might not be what you want 10 years down the line.
The one thing I did want to touch on, and I get asked a lot about, and nobody can... I've actually been told and told me that I've probably got more of them than he's ever done on any other house, is the enclosures.
Your crazy obsession with netted enclosures.
A lot of people sort of see the American enclosures inland and they talk about the flies. Now, you're not going to get... It doesn't matter where you are inland. It doesn't matter, even the coast.
Yeah.
You are going to get flies in Spain because between March and October, that's when they come, then they disappear. It's the heat. It's the arid land. It's not just Spain. It's everywhere. It's Italy. We've experienced it everywhere.
Yeah.
You obviously get more mosquitoes down on the playa than you do inland, unless you've got still water. Now, I would say 3/4 of my garden is fully enclosed with an American enclosure, which...
well, at the time, I think it was a record for the company to install.
Yeah.
Like one of the largest they'd ever done.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, I will give them their praise. It's Screen Masters that did that for me. They did a fantastic job. I mean, they've even just built me an enclosure within an enclosure.
Yeah, so she had the company out to put screening within screening just for her birds.
For my aviary, yeah. So all my animals, my goats, my chickens, my ducks, everything, they are under an enclosure, an American enclosure. And that is purely because... Yes, they are spoiled. I understand that. My garden area, my pool area is in an American enclosure. But I've done that purely because I don't want to be pestered with flies.
Yeah.
I want a secure area for them so nothing can get in. We do have snakes here. We do have scorpions. They'll leave you alone if you leave them alone, but we do have them. I don't have to worry about that with the enclosures. So it was the best money that we've ever spent.
Yeah.
I know that my animals are safe. I mean, obviously, without the enclosure, I'd always got the risk of the eagles coming down and taking the chickens, and I mean, it's things you don't think about, but this is what happens. We do have eagles that fly around on a regular basis, and I've got pigeons and things like that. So I've enclosed them. The majority of people put the fly screen enclosures up purely just to stop the flies and give them an area where they can obviously just sit and enjoy food without being bothered. So that's why you'll see so many American enclosures, and they are an absolute godsend. They're worth every penny. So if you do buy a property and you do want a screen enclosure, I'm going to give Ant a plug because he has done...
you can get Ant or Emily, who's in the office.
Yeah.
Yes, they will be more than happy to help.
Yeah, and they'll put the enclosures up for you from Screen Masters. I wonder if I'm going to have to get him to sponsor our...
I was going to say, do you want to sponsor our show?
And I think it's time that Screen Masters sponsored one of our podcasts. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm not saying this because we get anything, and we genuinely don't. We do this because it's a bit of information for you. Obviously, closer to the beach, you don't really get many enclosures up because they haven't got the space really.
Well, not
to
enclosures.
do it,
I mean, they installed some screening on my windows for me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm on a first floor, I wanted the cats to be safe so they couldn't dive out the windows. And again, it stops anything flying in. It stops creepy crawlies because I don't do bugs.
Yeah.
But I mean, really coming back to areas, I think it's okay for us to sit here and give you a little bit more information about what the different areas offer. But it really does come back down to, really, you need to be here.
Yeah.
You need to explore around. You need to let us guide you as well. One of the big things and the biggest part of our job is taking you out, showing you the different properties in the different areas, talking from experience. But we cover, and this is such a huge difference compared to most agents here in Almeria and Murcia, is they normally only sell within their little radius. Most of the agents here, you'll find wherever their office is based, that's where they're going to
push the properties.
Yeah, they keep to like a niche market, whereas you, from day one of opening Spanish Property Choice, have always said, okay, within reason, but we will offer to sell houses such a huge area, which I absolutely love sometimes, Mother, when you send me an hour and a half into the mountains, I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. But
it is offering it's offering both our vendors and our purchasers just that extra little bit more, because our vendors, obviously the exposure that we can offer, we don't want to keep that just to one little area. That's why we've got so many offices. It's not because we want to be the big company, because we're not. We're a family company. But what we want to do is just offer them the opportunity to have their properties seen in lots of different areas, because we sell a lot of properties now from people that actually live here as well.
But we've also proven how many times have people been on holiday in Mahaka, down on the beach, and they're looking for a villa in Albox, which is 45 minutes away. And, us having that exposure and working on the coast and vice versa. Val gets clients coming to the Albox office and they're saying, oh, well, we want to sell up and we want to move down to the coast. So, yes, of course, there is method in our madness always.
Well, I think every agent has their own method in their madness. I mean, obviously, if an agent just deals with Work Lavera or an agent that just deals with Arbaleas, they are going to push their properties because that's where they are. But you've got to be a little bit more diverse. You've got to think about it. You've got to and that's what we offer. We offer the diversity. So we can offer you all those areas, but we also listen and we sort of work out what is the right area for you. It's not all about just showing you the property, because I say a property can be made into a home. You can do whatever you want, but finding the right location and the right lifestyle for you is the most important.
Definitely.
And that's why we've now gone down to the Costa del Sol, because obviously we've got John down there now, who is our expert. He knows how we work. We've had a private listing already, and we've already got an offer on it. It's because we know what we're doing and we know what we're talking about. I'm not saying the other agents don't, because obviously they do. They live in those areas. They know the areas very well, but they're obviously going to push the properties that are in their areas. They're not going to, they're not going to offer a property in Velathrubio when they sell in Mahaka.
Exactly.
So that's pretty much how it works, really. So.
But obviously the good thing is anyone that is looking to purchase, if you're over on the Spanish Property Choice website, we do have links and information pages about different areas. You'll find when we have a property listing, at the end of the pictures, we have a video of the local area, just giving you a little bit more information.
I am updating those at the moment. I'm currently updating everything. All the pages are currently being updated on our website, which is www.spanishpropertychoice.com. And also the local videos are going to be updated, and that because things have changed again so much in the last few years. So we are doing videos at the moment. Most of the properties, just when you're looking at our website, we do get some fabulous comments about the website and how easy it is to use. Just remember that on the left-hand side of the page, you've got your search criteria, and on there you've got Almeria, and if you click that button, then you've got all the areas we cover, like Costa del Sol, Murcia, and all the different towns that you can search on. All of our properties, you'll notice that we have a breakdown on there of the costs involved. So if it's on a development, on a community, you'll have the community fees. We always put the basura, the rubbish amount on there. EB is the council tax on a property like I've got now, which is a 4-bedroom villa on 2,500 square metres of land. We pay €293 a year for our council tax. Which is, it's bonkers it's when you listen to what people tell me they pay in the UK. But all that information is on each of the properties. As you scroll down past the information, you'll see a map button. So if you click the map, we always show our properties where they're located. That goes against us sometimes because it helps other agents find the properties, but we like to be honest with our clients. So you can take the little man down and you can have a walk around the streets and look at the property yourself. We do 3D doll houses and we do walk around videos on all of our properties, yeah?
Yes.
And drones as well.
Yes. And you even list like distance to airports, and everything. So our website is definitely the hub of where to go to check out all of that information. And areas, again, there's only so much we can talk about, and we wouldn't want to keep you on here for hours discussing different areas because the list goes on and on and on. So it is a case of contacting us, speaking to one of our members of staff.
Yeah.
We will guide you. We will certainly try and help point you in the right direction, and then come and explore. It's boots on the ground, being here and getting a feel for the different areas.
Certainly, book to come and see us. Make sure you book in with us as soon as you can, because obviously our diaries do get really, really busy.
Yeah.
The answer, a question I get asked a lot of the times is, do we do viewing trips? No, we don't. And it's not because we're stingy. It's not because that we've learnt over the years, viewing trips are very high pressure sales. You've got to understand that nobody gets something for nothing. You either get the money added onto the price of the property, because they've got to get the money back somehow, because putting you up in hotels and taking you around and whining and dining, where it's very hard pressure sales, and they don't get any money unless they sell a property. So we would rather not do that. What we say to you is, come out on your own steam, basically, but we will take you around and we will show you everything you want, and we will not put any pressure on you. We'll leave it to you to make up your own mind. Fair to say?
Very fair to say.
Okay. And I think at that point, I think that's pretty much, we've covered everything, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah. Like I say, we can't cover everything in one episode. So please contact us. We're always very, very happy to answer any of your questions on the areas. As always, please make sure you comment as many times as you want. We do read all of your comments. To share any of our posts and share our podcast videos with your friends and family, and subscribe. If you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, it really, really helps us as well. And
if you've got a property to sell in any of the areas, all the way from Costa del Sol, Mahaca, Porto Lumbreras, Murcia, please contact us, because we are so desperate for properties, and I promise you will get a shazza tingle.
Yes, thanks, Mother. And on that note, we hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week.
Okay, take care.
Adios.
Bye.